As we contemplate dying, one of the questions we often think about is what's it going to be like in those moments leading up to death? What am I going to experience as I die? Am I going to, for example, have my life flash before me and see a series of memories of what I've lived? Am I going to experience a bright light, pulling me in? Right? In the past couple decades, there's been an increased academic interest in sort of what we might experience at this time, particularly as it relates to near-death experiences. So near-death experiences are, where people come physiologically close to death because they undergo a cardiac arrest and then are brought back, or they psychologically are close to death, where they are very involved in an accident where they almost die. And there's been a lot of scientific and research studies looking at and examining the memories people have of these near-death experiences. And they often report having their life flash before their eyes and seeing all their memories of their entire life. Or they report, going into a place and entering a place where there were sights and sounds and smells that they'd never experienced before. Now, one of the conundrums of near-death experiences is that people have these very vivid, solid, robust memories of them right from the time, or at the time, they occur at the same time that the brain and the body function is often declining, particularly when these occur with physiological near-death experiences. So there's a conundrum. The brain and body function are declining, yet they're having these very robust memories, for example. Now, it'd be interesting to see what is actually going on in the brain, record the activity in the brain during either a near-death experience or when someone is dying. Now, obviously, for ethical reasons, it's difficult. You can't really do these type of experiments. But just recently in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, there was a paper in which they actually were able to record the activity of the brain as someone was dying. So in this paper, what they looked at was an 80-something-year-old man who had had a traumatic brain injury and was having seizures. And so they hooked this person up to and recorded an electroencephalogram. So they put, the electrodes on the scalp there and recorded the activity from this person's cortex, that big folded portion of the brain that's right underneath the scalp. And when you record the activity in the cortex, what you're going to record is different brain waves: the alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and theta waves. Now, some of these waves are really high frequency waves, like the gamma waves, and those are usually associated with active mental processing and active cognition. Then on the other end, you have very low frequency waves like the theta waves that are usually associated with relaxation or sleep. Now, the interesting thing from this study is that they found in the moments leading up to death, there was a surge of brain activity, and particularly an increase in the gamma waves, so these high frequency waves. And in addition, these gamma waves were interacting with the alpha waves. They were being modulated by the alpha waves. And what makes this interesting is that in healthy individuals, when they are doing cognitive tasks, particularly memory recall, you see the exact same type of thing. You see an increase in alpha waves that interact with these, increase in gamma waves where they interact with these alpha waves. And interestingly, in this study, they saw that the gamma waves that interacted with the alpha waves continued after cardiac arrest. And so you see the exact type of brain activity that one might expect if there was going to be memory recall going on, increase in gamma waves that were modulated by the alpha waves. So did this person, as they died, have a sort of full memory recall? Of course, you don't know that. You can't jump to that conclusion because obviously the person, as they died, was unable to report what exactly they were experiencing. Right? And the other sort of caveat of this is that this was just an experiment with a sample size of 1. So not sure if this is a general phenomenon. This is something that normally happens. as you die? Can you expect to have this increase in gamma waves in a healthy or a normal individual as they die? This brain for this individual had undergone swelling because of the traumatic accident, and also was undergoing seizures. So it's not clear that this is a general pattern that you're going to see as a normal brain would die. But that does raise some interesting questions that one might have. Given the fact that you have all these examples of near-death experiences where people claim to have this memory recall, and in this study you see the type of brain waves that are associated with memory recall, one might ask, well, am I going to have that? When I die? And more importantly, is if I have that, is that just sort of an anomaly of the brain as it goes through the dying process? Or is it something more than that? Are we meant to have this sort of memory recall at the end of our life? Does it point to sort of a deeper purpose or meaning in our lives? Obviously, that's a question that science can't answer. It goes beyond the science. But the science can, show, like this study does. This study did, what actually occurs in the brain and what changes occur in the brain as the person goes through the dying process. And hopefully it's possible that future studies might shed more light on this question of what actually is going on in the brain as we die. If you like this video, please click on the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.